Hey guys, I'm S. Dan Wolf and welcome back to the channel. And I think what we'll do today is I wanted to do a little waterfall tutorial because I've had a lot of you ask me how I make my waterfalls. And by a lot of you, I mean like 4 of you. You ever hear these YouTubers are like, okay, everybody's been asking. And I'm like, who's been asking? Just do it. Just show us. You don't have to justify a bunch of people asking you to do it. Just show us. So that's what I'm going to do. For the 4 of you and for the many that may end up watching this, let me just show you how I go about with the waterfalls in Planet Zoo. Now, what you're going to want to do first is you have to click on your little construction tab right here. So click on that, and then over here to the bottom left, you'll see this special effects tab. That is the key to your waterfall greatness. And then once you jump in here, if you'll go down to the kind of towards the bottom right over here, you'll start seeing your effects tabs for what you're going to want to be messing with the waterfalls. So typically what I do is I always start off with the top section. Some people start off with the splash at the bottom. I typically do the top. So what I do is I click on top, 10-meter piece. Make sure you have the actual game playing here. Then we go up. And now remember, I'm holding the shift key. So if you let go of the shift key, it pops back down to the bottom. So see, I'm holding the shift key, kind of get it to where I want it. Then I hit X. So remember my basic tutorial, hit X, and now I can keep it up here in the air. See how that little node is kind of just staying right there. I'm not touching anything on the keyboard or the mouse right now, and it stays there. So this is our little top splash piece. This is the piece that I typically hide, but we'll get to the rock work about hiding it here in just a sec. Let's take it up. We'll take it up a little higher. We'll make this a pretty tall waterfall. All right, now I've got it kind of where I want it. I'll go ahead and click, and then that's there. And notice I haven't actually I haven't exited out of this click yet, because this is where a lot of people get in trouble by not being able to line your little nodes up easily, because see, they disappear behind the water kind of, so they can be a little tough to see and get your angles right. So I do not unclick off that yet. Then what I do is we look for your midsection tiers right here. You've got the 5 and the 10. We'll go with the 10 and then see how that immediately started splashing down. So that is your midsection. And see, I'm on the same plane here. There's your node. Take that down way low or mix it in, going up with the mouse key with your top splash. Still haven't clicked off of it. So I've clicked. We've got the midsection going. Now your last part, for this simple waterfall, maybe here in a sec we'll go off to the side and try to do some rapids. The next thing you need to do is your bottom part. So you can either do a 10 or a 5. I'll do a 5. Bring that down here to the bottom. Now this is another part where you may want to stop and actually do your terrain work. To actually, you know, if you want to have water down here, bring that. So I'll click. And then that part's done. We could actually even leave that like that, because that almost looks like we don't have to bring, I mean, you can bring in water if you click on your terrain tool here, sculpting, then click on push. Might make it a little smaller than that. And then kind of lower this ground here. Then I usually do flatten the foundation just to get, you know, give it a little more grip, a little more detail. Kind of accentuates the edges of the water. Click on my water. All this is being done with the left mouse button. Left click again, and there you've got your water. So actually our splash is a little high. Let's see if we can get in there and actually click on it. There's the node. Okay, so it let us click on it pretty easily. Sometimes when you have your rock work and your foliage is in the way, that is not as easy as as we just made that look. So we'll go down here. Let's get down, bring it a little bit lower down to our actual water level. There we go. Now, absolutely not done yet. This is where you have to start your rock work. This is where the rock work is really, really important. So remember, click on your nature tab, go over here to rocks. Then I am really, really fond right now of this set, this temperate rock. They've got some good, nice, beefy pieces to kind of get you started. Typically what I'll do is I'll go in here to this little tab right here on your left-hand side, and I don't do the align to surface at first. I want complete control of how I kind of want this to start and how I want this to look. So we got some rocks right there. Maybe we'll spin this, stack it, and switch the rocks up. Maybe go over to this side, maybe turn that a little bit. Then I'll move on to some smaller ones, a little bit smaller. Stack that right there. Maybe have one more on this side, kind of hiding the back edge of that water. All right, now what I'll typically do is I'll place one down here so you don't see that grass back there. Almost can have like a cave, if you will, behind the waterfall. Then what I'll typically do, remember holding your shift key, I'll raise a piece like this up. And I'll kind of hide it, because typically in the zoos, a lot of them are done like this because you have to hide the filtration and the pumps, and you don't want it to just look like it's coming out of thin air up there. So then I'll click. So we've got that first part. We've got your main little layout area done. So what I may do also is click on your terrain button, go back into sculpting, go back into pull. Sometimes I won't just do it all with rock. So see, check this out. Now your water is going to hold you back a little bit right now. Now typically in Planet Coaster, it doesn't do this. It'll actually let you just fold over the water. So sometimes you have to go in and get rid of the water in this. I don't know if it'll be like that on full release. But if you want to get rid of your water, a lot of people have asked about this as well. Just right click on it, and then your water disappears. Then you can go back into your sculpting for a minute, and look, you can bring it over to the edge of your rocks, kind of like we were aiming for. So let's get this kind of raised here. All this being done with the sculpting tool. And I'll typically get this to a certain point, and I will switch over. I like the way this right here, your flatten the foundation looks. Kind of helps me bring more uniformity to it. And then of course, we'll get some more rocks stacked and such. But all the while, look, your waterfall still stays flowing, so you still have that vision, kind of how you want this laid out. So now that the terraforming, I'm pretty much done with that. I'll go back in, left click, get the water back in there. Now we will kind of go back into some more rock work. Like I said, the rock work, you can't sleep on it, guys. That is really, really important as far as setting your scene and just getting these waterfall scenes put together. So we probably we'll go back into some more beefier pieces to kind of work up these pillars and these ledges. And like I've mentioned before in that earlier tutorial, that was a good angle. Like how that kind of sticks out. Don't be afraid to go a little crazy with the rocks. You can blend these so easily. Like this little cladding piece right here. Maybe kind of give it a little spin. Place it down. Rock number 13. Good little connecting piece. So see, now your little makeshift pillar, you can take that and get those stacked in there real nice. Now what I also like, I really, really love, let me find it here. Rock 7. Rock 7 is a really, really nice accentuating piece. Just gives so much character, even to, just your simple little waterfalls. See how that edge kind of draws out right there? Lots of character on that. And I'll even spin that. We can bring this piece in a little. Maybe kind of have that hang over that edge. And if we want, see, like now we've got our main little spillway. If you wanted to bring another little offshoot and kind of have it spill down onto that, let me show you what you can do. Go back into your construction. We're going to touch a piece we haven't just yet, but look at your rapid splash. That's your rapid splash button. So we can kind of, if we're going to have it crashing down onto the rocks right there, look how it just adds that extra little, just that extra little edge. Bring that down right there to the water level. This, you may want to go, I'd say you want to go with your 5 meter. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead. We'll get the top, get that top little splash, because like we said, we wanted to kind of make it tiered. I'm turning it with the X key. So see, if I'm holding it out here like this, I'm holding the X key down. See how you can change the trajectory of that top splash? That's all you got to do. So I'm holding X. Now I'm holding the Shift key. We'll kind of get this over here in place. See if we can kind of hide it. We'll pretend it's a smaller offshoot. So I think that's probably that's decent right there. Maybe we need to bring that a little farther back into those rocks. So see, still holding it. And we're just going to go a little deeper back in there. Then I hit my X key, so you're still lined up. We're going to go to our midsection 5. And there. Now, you've got your splash down on this second set of rocks right here. So see, it's bam, busting on those and then right down into the main pool. And if you want to do that as another little, like a smaller little drop off, oops, let's make sure you actually click on that. All right, click. Now we might want to do another little drop off, bring that out here where you can see it, hit your X key, turn it so it's falling that way, and just bring it down to the edge of the water here, to the edge of your rock here. And that just kind of adds to that. See how it kind of adds to the chaos here of kind of like you're splashing, you're coming off those rocks, really just beating this water off of it. And there. Now, what you may want to do is you may want to have a piece that actually looks like it's splitting those, because there's really nothing naturally here to make that water shoot off that way. So then just go back into your nature section and we can just hide us another little rock right there. Just something to show off that little bit of forced reaction here. Like, why is that water shooting off that way from the main water chute? Maybe kind of hide that just a little. There we go. And then, of course, what we'll probably want to do is just do a little bit of cleanup work here. I like these clagging pieces. This rock 5 is a good cleanup piece. Just to kind of, you don't want to see the sky through your waterfalls, kind of what I'm saying. Then maybe we can clean up over here just a hair, just so it's not so, it's just this terrain's not just peeking out over here. There's that part. And now another thing, I know you guys know what I'm about to say. You cannot leave out your foliage. So you're gonna maybe we'll get you a little foliage tutorial here while we're at it. So there is our, we want to cap. I always try to make sure you cap off the ends, because it's just aesthetically more pleasing if you don't see these little these terrain edges here. Maybe even go back in and grab some of your larger pieces. So there, now we've got our basis up. Our main little waterfalls splashing, really cool. You can see maybe the tigers kind of chilling out over here as the sun's warming up these rocks. But we're not done yet. We got to go in. We've got to get us some foliage in. I like using the dead trees because we know around waterfalls and stuff, the whole area around waterfalls can be really tumultuous. Just, a lot of stuff going on around waterfalls. They don't stay the same very long as far as stuff kind of splashing downstream, maybe coming over the edge of the waterfalls. So you'll always see me kind of throwing some, just throwing some dead trees about and stuff. It's not all, like, especially like if I go on hikes and stuff and we go to these natural parks, Smoky Mountain National Park, you never just see, it's not like these fairy tale, just clean little waterfall areas. Like I said, very usually violent type areas. A lot of stuff is moving, a lot of stuff is going on. So, you will see a random mixture of lots of different foliage. And what we'll do is we'll kind of tie in, get your little bramble bush here, kind of hide where the terrain meets the rock work. And then we'll add some leveling as well. We will get some, I'm not saying you have to go, where's my Himalayan trees at? I'm not saying you have to go insanely high. Well, that's a decent tree. Let's just see. Is there an Acacia? That's a nice, this is a nice complementary tree to waterfalls. Maybe kind of lower that in right at the base of these rocks. It's kind of busting up through the rocks, but it's far enough away where that type of growth is believable. So, and what I'm saying is you might not want to take this tree and like place it right here because, the crashing and the rain and the rocks would probably never really let that get like that. But over off to the side, it's a little more believable. And then let's see, what can we do? We can take some of these lady ferns, maybe over on this side, get those placed down. Like I said, kind of masking the terrain and the rock work. Could even stack some back here as long as that rock's hidden. Let's see, Manta, yeah, that's decentish. Marula, that's a decent one. Maybe get it far enough over here, hit your X, back out. It's decent. It's a little tall. You don't want to. If that one's a little tall, you're almost as far as on this side of the rock goes, how close it is. You're almost taking away from your focal point of the waterfall. So maybe not go with that one. And remember, if you hit X, check this out. You can change and they stay in the same spot. So another really tall one. Let's see, Monkey Puzzle. Kind of tall. Definitely wouldn't want to go with your oak tree there. Let's Quaking Aspen, too tall. Gorgeous tree, just too tall. Riverbrush, willow, not too bad. A little too orange for this scene. Sudanese, there we go. Sudanese kind of hanging out over here. Kind of on the edge. So I can maybe bring it just a hair closer. Looks really, really good. Provides some shade here on this side of the rocks. Maybe some animals could hang out over here on that ledge. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good little start. And like we mentioned, just kind of wanted to get in here and show you guys kind of what's possible and what you can try. Can have this little tree kind of bending over here, kind of fighting for some sun. But yeah, so that's it, guys. I just wanted to jump in and kind of show you a quick tutorial. I know I've kept you here for almost 20 minutes now, but one more thing before I go. This is a really, really good complementary piece right here in your construction set. And remember, you do not have to do any research or unlock this. This piece is, it's already unlocked, and it is your Planet Zoo log. Really, really nice complementary piece here for some of your waterfall builds, some of your grizzly builds. A lot of people I see use this in the grizzly builds. And look how you can kind of see how you can almost just stack it even up against the rocks like it's fallen over towards the tree. And then, of course, you've got your little secret little cave back here behind the waterfall. And even that piece, you can use it as far as your stacking and your angling for your sight lines as well. Just to kind of give your waterfall some height and some presence. Maybe stack it. Bring it up here like it's fallen. So there's lots of different little weird things you can do with that. Very versatile piece. But anyways, guys, yeah, I'll go ahead and jump on out of here. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And remember, with the waterfalls, your X and your Shift key and your Z key are imperative to get that going right. So anyways, yeah, I'm Stan Wolf. Don't forget to smash that like button if you end up enjoying this tutorial. And come on back and hang out with us for more of this Planet Zoo mischief. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you. See you guys.